feel the rush. Dominated, felt fucked out. Sharp as steel, it got away. Leaving trace when out of sway. Climbing mountains, conquering all. Watch it rise, it'll never fall. Sledge the beast, and they start king. And let's rise, rip back from the past. It'll never return. In its grip, let the wildness burn. Bloody roads, it's a feeling ride. With the sledge, there's nothing to hide.
Alright guys, so we made it out. Last time we were out with the Sledge, we had a bent chassis, some broken bracing, etc. I decided to do a couple of upgrades. I'll go over them at the end of the video. But my wife has claimed this truck, so what we did was sort of a mild upgrade. It's a new ESC and motor from Hobby Wing, but for the most part, it's mostly still stock. But like I said, we'll go over it at the end of the video. For now, we're just gonna speed run it and see where we're at. I don't remember what the stock speed thing did. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna see what she's got for now, and then we're gonna head out to the ramp. And my wife is gonna bash it, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's see what's the top speed. I'm thinking like maybe 50 miles an hour, if that, maybe. Stop, read, oh, wow, okay, never mind. It did 60. 60 miles an hour, let's screenshot that. Oh, that's not the button I wanted. Screenshotted. Well, that's plenty. Like I said, this build is a mild setup. So it's made mostly for my wife to bash, which you will see next. So let's head on over. All right, guys, we are at the spot with the ramp, and we made it out. So from here on out, man, what you're gonna see is the wifey bashing the Sledge. So let's see how this goes. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened either.
You went for it. It was off camera the whole time for me because I wasn't expecting that. You gassed it. Bling! I'm like, oh shit, where'd it go?
Oh God! Totally stuffed the nose on that thing. Just do some. There we go. Oh! Thank goodness it can take a beating.
Yeah, you landed really hard on the back and it bent the shock tower.
Oh, great.
So now this whole tower is like this, which is why the wing is like that. But if it's still running.
Okay. Oh!
Yeah, to see all this is not where it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's not gonna.
Okay.
No, nobody. Tabs aren't gonna line up in the back.
Yeah.
Now we know the next thing we gotta do is put some towers on it.
Yeah. That was cool.
Uh-oh. She's a pro now.
Can't see where I'm going. Tree. Tree. Shoot sand. Turtle. The wing is sticking up in the air so bad. Oh! Mmm. It actually survived that. Holy cow. Oh my god. Oh, oh. 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 Oh, 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 oh my god. Oh my god. Ah. Ugh. I had a brain fart on that one. Oh. Oh, oh, there goes the wing. There was no saving that.
I didn't even watch it because I don't even know if I got that on camera. Because I was like, oh my god, the wing's gone.
The
now.
wing is gone. Oh, gimme. It's still going.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's still going.
See how the tower's bent?
Yeah, I see it. It's all bent
forward.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, sorry, Sledgey man. I'm sorry. Oh.
You made it to 130, I think.
I think so. At least I got past the 100 marker. Oh. No, no, no. Get over here. Over this way. This way, you drunkard. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh! There's a shock. That broke off. Shock cap.
It kind of actually looks more just like the axle popped out,
Okay.
and that's it. Oh no, it broke the shock.
That's
cap.
what I was saying.
The
Shock
shock
cap.
cap itself broke,
Mm-hmm.
and then that allowed this to go too far up, and then it
Yeah.
wedged the axle between
Oh.
the outdrive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Just the shock cap.
Okay.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, if I can get this unjammed,
That is.
I can probably put a Creighton shock on there and keep
Mm-hmm.
going. All right, guys, so we made it back to the shop with the Traxxas Sledge, or as my wife calls it, Sledgey. Oh wow, the body's gonna fall off of here. So, okay, so quick rundown. Basically, mostly stock. Actually, part of what you're seeing here is actually upgrades since the bash you just saw. So we've gone back out again, made some more upgrades, and then, or made some more upgrades and then went back out again and bashed it again. That'll be another follow-up video. So in the video you just saw, she was basically all stock except for the motor mount setup, the M2C chassis and the basher bar. Now it's got GPM shock towers and GPM rear tower to chassis brace. So essentially how she is now, she's on the M2C chassis, M2C bash bar, and then the M2C motor mount that puts the motor, you know, where it's supposed to be. And then I put so this is what I did. So I got the M2C motor mount set up, and I basically put a Team Corrali 825 or Kiron 825 2050 kV motor in it, because I like the larger bullets that it comes with. And then I got a Hobbywing 8BL 150. So the reason I did this is because, you know, this thing doesn't have to be super insane. It's not for me, it's for my wife. She doesn't need crazy amounts of power and torque. She just needs something she can kind of learn to control. This motor on Jenny's you can probably get, I think, for like 70 bucks. This ESC you can get for like 70 bucks. They have like a G2 version. You just have to be careful when you Google it, that you put in Hobbywing 8BL 150 and it'll come up with the right price. So I got this motor and ESC set up because it was just cheap. It's 150 bucks ish. And it's, I mean, this is essentially what you get in a Suga or a Kagama. So I mean, if it's good enough for that, it'll be plenty for this. And as you saw on the speed runs, it did 60 miles an hour, which is plenty for what is essentially a stock car. These are not, you know, high-end parts. These are stock parts out of other cars. So that's what I did electronic wise. It's got the M2C chassis, the M2C basher bar. It's got the M2C motor mount, the M2C ESC plate. And then it's got the ZRS piston kits in them, but it has the stock bladder style shock caps, which from what I've seen now tends to be a weak point because we've broken 2 shock caps so far. So as far as her driving, I don't know if you guys care too much or not, but I was impressed. I think she learned from just watching because she did a lot of things that you probably wouldn't do your first time, even down to just as fast as you would hit the ramp. Most people would have a hard time just lining the car up with the ramp. I know, because I've had friends come out and try to bash with me and they have a real hard time lining the car up with the ramp. And she pretty much lined it up every time. Did she land every jump? No, but that's just practice. It's hard to like rotate the car in the air and then time it so that it lands flat on the ground. Which also highlights something I've said many times, and that is that good driver or driver skills outweighs upgraded parts. You know, it's like, you know, like the math equation where it's something that's greater than, driver skill is greater than performance parts or expensive parts. Because if that were me bashing and let's say I only did a quarter throttle like she did, and didn't really go 150 feet out, this thing would never break and I would just land it perfect or near perfect every time, and then it would just last forever. You know, I wouldn't have to really upgrade too much. But you know, essentially the driver skill will let you get away with a lot more than upgraded parts. But with that said, I think she did amazing. I'm super proud and super like excited because I mean, it's only going to get better from there. You know, pretty soon she's going to be sending it out 150 feet, and that's going to be freaking cool. So cool. So yeah, but in the video you just saw, we had the stock shock towers. Those ended up bending, obviously. She had plenty of nosedives and rear end hits, you know, so I mean, that's expected. I think the car did way better than I thought it was going to do. Obviously, it's not me bashing it, so, you know, a crash or a bad landing when I'm driving is gonna have higher consequences. But nevertheless, I think my wife would be a more accurate representation of what most people would do, given a ramp to do that kind of thing with, you know? So I think she's a great representation of what this truck will take. I do think that upgrading the chassis, getting the M2C motor mount and ESC plate and chassis are a good baseline, just to have something a little bit more reliable, a little bit more robust. But I think she did amazing. I think the truck did great. We haven't had any diff failures or anything like that. We haven't had an ESC, or not an ESC, but a servo failure or anything like that. So, I mean, we're just gonna send it again. Like I said, since this video, we've already gone back out. This is why, you know, I don't know if you can see on the video or not, but we put GPM towers on the front and rear, and then we put the tower to chassis brace on the rear from GPM, because we ended up breaking that chassis. We ended up bending towers, so we just went ahead and threw those on, and we're just essentially upgrading as needed is what we're doing. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is buy some aluminum shock caps. I think maybe GPM makes them, or Hot Racing, something like that. But yeah, man, I mean, what an awesome truck. You know, and it's funny because my wife told me, she told me that her thoughts were that the Traxxas Sledge is the car you get if you want to bash, and you want to like go in easy. You know, if it's for your wife or for your kid, or you've never had one but you want to get into it. Because I feel like when you talk about the Kagama and the Creighton, dude, those things are out of the box. Those things are like stupid, man. They're like a lot of car. This is a good car to like get your feet wet. It's mostly reliable. It's got a couple of weak points, but nothing crazy. But obviously, if it was me, this car would probably, like you saw the first bash, I broke a bunch of stuff, bent the chassis, all that stuff. But for someone like my wife, who is not going to go 150 feet, you know what I mean, and hit the ramp at maybe like 45 miles an hour, if that, you know. So I mean, for that kind of bashing, which I still consider extreme bashing, but it's not like crazy like what I'm doing, or like some of the other guys that do it, you know, Aldo or Rich or RC Dude, all these guys, Commander Aztig, he does it too, man. Those guys they're extreme, you know what I mean? But this is also considered pretty hardcore bashing, you know. So, you know, I would say kudos to her, and I'm proud of her, and I think the truck did great. Again, I think this setup that I have, I think is a great setup. I haven't even gone through the diffs on this truck. Like, I haven't opened up the diffs or checked the fluids inside of them, none of that. I wanted to run this thing as long as it'll take, you know, take the bashing and leave it as stock as possible. You know, I didn't want to treat this thing like a full-on build. I wanted to just take it step by step. But like I said, 825 Curon motor, Hobby Wing 8BL 150. You can get this on Jenny's for like 70 bucks. You can get this almost anywhere for like 70 or 60 bucks. And then I would recommend getting this rear brace, because the plastic one just tends to break. And then I would recommend getting towers. And I would definitely recommend getting the M2C setup that puts the motor back here, because it just makes the whole setup way more, it makes it better. You know, your receiver box gets put up here, and that's an Armor receiver box. So that, you know, basically the whole setup is just way better, man. It just makes for a better truck. You know, unfortunately, I will say that the initial price you have to put into this thing is, like, to me, it's just ridiculous, man. I try to find a better way to describe it, but like, you shouldn't have to pay $800+ for this thing out of, you know, box stock. This should probably be like a $500 truck box stock, you know, and then you can spend another $300 making it what this is here. You know, that's my opinion. I think the Sledge is a great basher, but it's overpriced by about $300. Drop that $300, invest that in the upgrades, and then you have something that's perfect for when you're first starting out. And there is plenty of room to upgrade this thing. There's plenty of aftermarket support, whether it's ADU, GPM, Vitavon, M2C, Scorched. I don't know if Scorched has anything, but you know, there's plenty of aftermarket support. So whatever you want for the car, they have. You know, you can go big motor on it if you want. You can do the jackhammer from M2C, whatever. So there's no limit to this car, but I think it's a great car to start off with. But I also think it sucks that it's overpriced the way it is, because it's just like, I think this car would do a lot better if it was a 500, maybe 550, like a base price, you can say. And then, you know, that'd be a good starting point and be a good price point for this particular basher. So, but anyway, all right, so next week we should be actually, yeah, I'll probably, I don't know, you guys can tell me maybe, but we've got a whole other bash video of my wife bashing this with the upgrades on the towers and such. So we've got that coming. We've got the fire team video pretty soon, that'll be out. And then I've got I think I'm working on the Krallian, and then I've got a Creighton V6 video that I did 175 feet on, but I want to kind of finish that video out. I need to take the car back out. I'm gonna kind of redo the whole entire project and see what we can get away with different parts, and then I'll put that video out and show you guys that 175 feet. That bash was just insane. It was a ton of fun too. But anyway, all right guys, stay tuned. We got plenty more coming. Thanks again, as always, to all who viewed and all who have subscribed. Massive thanks to my wife, who continues to be supportive and is now bashing with me. How awesome is that? Anyway, all right guys, I'll see you in the next one. Keep on bashing.